-18, and that was pretty cold and snowy and not good. And then probably in like March, springtime kind of area, the winds get up to like 50, 60 miles an hour. So that could be a little rough, but it's not so bad. It's kind of exhilarating. You're going to want both short and long sleeve shirts. Have a nice suit, because it makes you feel good to wear a nice suit. And, if you have a good coat, just go with it. If it's not good enough, members will tell you and they will give you a coat. Like, not to be bad, but, just go out and hope you got the best. And if it is not working, there will be ways to fix it. That's it. Bring your testimony. One of the big things I learned is like the pure power of testimony. And I know like that's a thing that a lot of missionaries would say, but there's not really anything that changes people's hearts, whether it be your heart, your companion's heart, or the heart of somebody you're teaching or somebody who's inactive, as just pure, powerful testimony. And then I guess the other thing is, like, it's okay not to know all the answers. A lot of companions I had struggled with that. But as you go forward in faith, not knowing all the answers doesn't matter as much. So one thing to watch out for, like, we were completely unprepared for this. So we had dinner, and there was like the dessert set off on a small plate to the side, and I was so excited for it because it was like this red jello with like a graham cracker crust, and we dug into it, and it was filled with onions and celery. Onions and celery just floating in jello. Whatever it is, it's been put in jello, and you will be served it in jello. So, the adage about Mormons and jello is true. It's not so exotic. That's like the most authentic. Like exotic stuff, there's a wide variety of Asian foodstuffs there because there's a lot of tour buses that bring a bunch of Asian tourists up through the park system into Yellowstone, and they all stop at these Asian restaurants on their way there. So there's, in pretty much every city you'll serve in, there will be an Asian restaurant. So if you like that stuff, it's always available. This isn't to sound boastful or anything, but I trained a lot on my mission. I trained 6 separate times. And like the second time, I thought I had it down. I thought I was prepared and ready, and that was the worst time for me. Partially because I was going it alone, and partially because like the other missionary didn't want to play nice with me. But despite all that and how hard it was and how hard it made getting missionary work done, first of all, we still did get missionary work done, and it was good missionary work. And second of all, like, it helped me to realize that through it all, and through all my own self-doubt, and through my loathing of myself, the Lord still loved me and stood by me and took care of me in ways I didn't really deserve. So if going on a mission will teach you anything, like besides the gospel and what it actually is, it'll teach you how much you need to rely on the Lord and how much you can do when you are relying on Him. There are quite a few dogs. Okay, we started teaching this family one time because their 9-year-old daughter started protecting us from dogs, which we just had to swallow our manly pride and take. She was like the dog whisperer. I don't know. So, It may stink to be chased by dogs, but you never know what's going to come out of it. And then the other thing to watch out for is roadkill everywhere as soon as the snow melts. Like, as soon as it starts melting, there's 10, 15 bodies that you never even realized were there. My favorite thing about the food, I don't know if this counts, but was free food was abundant. Like, you get fed every night for dinner except for P-days, so you never have to buy dinner. And then oftentimes, lunch was free. So, there were, so many restaurants you could go in planning to pay for lunch and you'd get it for free. There were restaurants that were we have a deal where missionaries get free food once a week. So that was really good. I don't know if there's anything really that unusual. Like, if you've had meat and potatoes, you've pretty much had the spectrum of what will be served to you. Just imagine meat and potatoes in every combination that you could, and that's pretty much what you'll be eating. So, it's not bad. Teaching is great. When you're teaching, you're happy as a missionary. For whatever reason, I think it's partially the Spirit just rewarding you, and I think it's partially just us as humans loving social interaction. But some of my strongest spiritual memories come from teaching specific things that people needed to hear. But funny enough, I can never remember those moments because they weren't really me. Turns out it was all the Spirit the whole time. But one of the most spiritual men that I learned from on my mission, I think I'm going to go with that. He was one of our ward missionaries, ward mission leaders. And he was amazing. He served in World War II. He's been on 3 missions, in his old age, 2 of them to Africa, 1 of them to Georgia. And he was always with us. He would always go out with us and teach with the Spirit and with dignity. We went out with him 2 or 3 times a week to visit people in his ward, and this was all while he was battling latent malaria that he had gotten the last time he was over in Africa. He was a spiritual giant of a man, and he's really given me something to aim for in terms of who I want to be and how I want to serve the Lord in the church.